Okay, so we're just skipping the intro today. We're jumping right in. There's something that I kind of want to talk about that isn't really being talked about much, or at least that I haven't really seen it be talked about much, and that's to do with legendary events. So, this week, as I'm sure you're all aware, or maybe you're not, if you have them maxed out, then you won't see them in your events window, which is kind of why I have my baby account running here, or my Boilon 89 account. By the way, level 81, almost level 82. But the problem here is that we had no heads up for any of these, with the exception of Ebony Maw. So you guys might have remembered that we had Black Bolt and Ebony Maw launching on the same day. I'm pretty sure I commented on this already. And cool, I guess. But like, obviously nobody cares about Black Bolt, and now that Ebony Maw isn't part of the Nowhere Heist event, nobody really cared about that, I guess. And it makes you wonder, well, why did they have all of these legendary events back to back to back to back to back like they are right now? And I think it's because Ebony Maw was actually meant to be in the Nowhere. Well, we know that he had the tag, and that they didn't really change that part. So that's why Ebony Maw is here on Monday, or was here on Monday, and that's why Black Bolt appeared, because I guess they wanted to help you unlock Ebony Maw, which again is fine, but zero communication about any of this. And so fast forward to gosh, I don't know, yesterday. So much shit has been going on in Marvel Strike Force. I'll be honest, I cannot remember from like one reset to the next, because that's how fucking shit things are right now. We had the Invisible Woman and the Doc Ock event as well. One thing I'm not sure why does it say, I've asked this before, why does it say completed on my screen, but on Surgical Strike it says 2 days? They both launched at the same time. I don't understand why my events window is so fucked up. It says this for all the other ones as well, actually. I don't really understand that part. So if anyone knows why this is happening, please let me know in the comments down below. It's really irritating, because then I never actually know when events are running, because all it says is completed instead of ends in such and such days. So we had the Doc Ock and the Invisible Woman event coming back around. Once again, you know, no communication on this in the blog post whatsoever. And normally I wouldn't find this to be such a problem, because they're technically giving us stuff ahead of time, I guess. And you know, if you heard in one of my other videos, I mentioned how Doc Ock wasn't slated to come back until like sometime in April. And if this is a monthly event, the Nowhere Heist is a monthly event, then I guess this is good for people. But if they didn't, if they were, there's no offers, by the way, for any of these events, with the exception of maybe Ebony Maw, because there was an Inhuman event, Inhuman offer. Not that I'm encouraging spending. I'm not. Please don't. Typically, like I don't encourage people to spend. But there is no way for people to fast track their progress if they were maybe, say, 30, 40 shards short of a character, because there's nothing there for them. So nobody knew that this was coming, and therefore this isn't really going to help them that much, unless you were already well prepared. But that might be a small minority of people. So no heads up for Invisible Woman, Doc Ock, Black Bolt. And it feels like if this was scheduled to go out, like they must have fucking let's be real. They must have had this programmed well in advance to go out. So why were we not told about this so that people could properly, adequately prepare for these events? So yeah, that didn't happen. Invisible Woman, I managed to get to tier 6 actually for myself, for my baby account. For Doc Ock, I'm still stuck at tier 5. I mean, I wasn't really ready for tier 6 anyways, because I don't have X23. And I think that's going to be a big problem for a lot of players going forward anyways, for Doc Ock more generally, having to spend war credits on X23, who is not a very good character right now, and not really worth war credits, you know, compared to like any orange or teal gear, or Maria Hill Shards, who was much better for an unlock for Omega Red. And speaking of Omega Red, well, I mean, that's why I kind of want to bring this up in relation to legendary events. So I have this calendar that I update from you know, time to time, and now it's like, well, everything's out the fucking window, right? So February 0709 Black Bolt, February 0709 Ebony Maw, February 8th to the 10th Doc Ock, February 8th to the 10th Invisible Woman. What the fuck is next? Are we gonna get Omega Red tomorrow? Like, who the fuck knows? What's left? What have we not actually had? Jubilee, Adam Warlock, and Omega Red. So according to my days, we're supposed to be getting Omega Red February the 21st, which is going to be in 2 weeks. 2 weeks this past Monday. Is that going to be the case? Maybe Omega Red's going to pop up randomly. Hell, maybe Jubilee's going to show up tomorrow. Like who knows at this point? Like, I'm not sure how this is going to impact the schedule here. So you see that I have dates actually for Black Bolt's next pass, like in May, and I had some other dates written down. But like, does April 4th to April 6th for Doc Ock? Like, does any of this even matter? Like, I don't know if we can like actually predict when characters are gonna like come back around. Like, I'm not even sure if it's safe to even estimate it anymore, because I don't know how these random iterations are gonna impact the schedule or calendar, or because we don't really have a fucking real one. That's something that fucking pisses me off. But you know, I'm not gonna drive too home on that one. I feel that we should have like a monthly event schedule and calendar, but we don't. So you know, we're kind of relying on you know, trends in the past where we've made date predictions based on what we've seen. I just don't know how reliable that is anymore. You know, are we going to get Omega Red on February the 21st, or is that going to be just thrown out the window? Is any of this even relevant anymore? Like, look how many times Black Bolt's come back. If you look at like how many of these dates here, look at fucking Black Bolt since like, that's last year, actually. This is from 2021, by the way. So, like, February 22, May, July, and then there was a couple instances here, October and November. It was, like, within a month, and, like, I don't know. It was just so wonky. If you look at some of most of these are to 2021, but, like, this was Jubilee's first pass. And you can see how many, like, passes some of these characters have had since, which is kind of weird. Can we rely on this anymore? I don't know. I'm going to try and keep track of this, but I just don't know how relevant this is going to be anymore, and you know, it's really frustrating because the lack of calendars, the lack of heads up, the lack of communication in this game is at an all-time low. And while we're here, really quickly, I want to bring up a certain thing here. Some clarification for those of you who might be asking some additional questions about the Nowhere Heist and some of the rewards. I want to bring attention to the blog post here. I was just kind of bringing it up really quickly. This is the Heist and Hunters blog post from Friday, where we talk about the Nowhere Heist event towards the bottom. Sorry that I have to scroll through this because I didn't have it ready, actually. And there was one thing. We were all misled. If you watched my previous video, I mentioned that, but I wasn't specific about what we're necessarily misled about. And so this part here, the maiden run of this new type of flash event kicks off February. This part, the maiden run. So I was told that the maiden run indicated the first time only. So for all of us who thought that we were going to get repeats on the gold, no, because we're dumb and we didn't think that the maiden run meant only the first pass, not subsequent clears. So even I, when I read this, I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, I kind of glossed over it. I'm like, you know, it's the first time the event's running. I just felt that that's why they used the word. But no, this actually referred to the first time clear, the maiden run. So from now on, we really need to fucking magnify glass the blog post to make sure every single word in here is not up for debate. You know, the fact that this was misinterpreted, that no, we're the fools, because we should have paid attention to that, and most of us did not. So that's why, and in fact, actually, the fact that it says this, you know, this could have been an event that gave us nothing. It said the maiden run gave us this, right? So if they're using that as an excuse for gold, then hypothetically the event could have actually gave us nothing on repeat rewards, since this was all under the lump umbrella here of maiden run. So, you know, they could have just fooled us, and it could have been just flat out dark promo credits and nothing else, you know, like, so this is the kind of point that we're at in the game with Marvel Strike Force, that we need to pay attention to every single word in the blog so we don't get tripped up, so we don't get fooled by this company, Scopely, who wants to just fucking you know, just make fools of us. I had more in my head about what I wanted to say, but I've said a lot of it already. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I actually legitimately, like, for once, I'm kind of out of words to, like, describe my feelings, my game, the game, you know, like, what I want to do from here. I don't know. And so I think until Friday's blog post, this is probably going to be my last video until sometime on Friday, because I just don't know what I want to do content on now. Like, I just feel like we're not being heard, and I'm sure I'm gonna get people in the comments down below telling me, like, what did you expect? Boilon, you give them too much credit, and I don't give them too much credit. But I just kind of expected a reasonable amount of anything from a company that requires people to play this game, and, you know, like, I can't form a sentence. That's how bad things are for me right now. That I just, like, I normally am able to come up with some good words to say, and I just can't. And my brain is just fried right now after all the shit that's gone on in the game. It's not good. I'm actually slowly getting burnt out of everything. You know, Nowhere Heist is just the tip of the iceberg. But then we had, you know, I've gone at length to talk about all the other problems. So I'm not going to. But the legendary event stuff really pisses me off. The lack of communication really pisses me off. And they really, 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 really need to do fucking better. They knew all of this in advance, so why did they not share it with us? That's what I'm wondering. So let me know in the comments down below what you think about this. Did you miss out on any of the legendary events, whether it's Black Bolt, Ebony Maw, Invisible Woman, or Doc Ock, because you literally had no idea they were coming, aside from Ebony Maw, sorry. So the other three. Let me know. Did it impact your ability to then maybe get Nowhere Heist done? Maybe 1 or 2 more levels, I don't know. Some of the earlier levels that are a little bit easier. Let me know that too. That's it for this short video. I think it was short. Until next time, stay safe. I'll see you on Friday, and stay sane and healthy, and I'll see y'all later. Boilon signing out.